your love, and your grace. And I pray, may the word of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be pleasing in your eyes, O Lord, my rock and my redeemer. Amen. My wife and my baby safely arrived in Korea. Thanks for your prayers, because it all worked out nicely. And this is why. When we were at the SFO, San Francisco airport, and checking in bags, a clerk at the ticket booth told us that the seat next to my wife was taken or not taken. Not taken. Yes, right? Nice, right? A good part, however, is not that my baby Luke was sitting on that chair. No, he just stayed on his mother's lap. But that there was a baby girl sitting next to him. An amazing thing is, believe it or not, she was more energetic and outgoing than Luke. She was sort of the alpha, which somehow brought Luke's energy level down and made him stay calm. I guess that's what's going to happen when you got married, right? When I finally called my wife and asked her, I was like, how was your trip? And my wife says, I was okay, It was not so difficult, and I was so thankful, and thanks for your prayers. So my wife enjoyed her flight to Korea. Then how about my bachelorhood, right? Do I enjoy it? Yes. Only 2 days. Only 2 days. Last Thursday, I was so happy that I could put things my way where I think they should be. So, that's my way. So I had a massive cleanup from 11 to 12 at night after I came back from airport, and I passed out because I was so tired. And next day I woke up, had a breakfast, and found I have so much time left. But later that day, at the college alumni meeting, I found myself holding up someone else's baby and thinking of who? Look. I also found myself later that day looking at the pictures and videos of my family. Then I realized I'm back again, single, lonely, desperate. I don't like this. I don't like this. I think this is not just my story, but also your story. We realize how precious those around us, families and friends, are only when we lost them, when they are not there anymore. We appreciate more than ever their presence in their absence. Our search for answers often brings us back to where we are now, not just physically but also relationally. We finally find that there was somebody waiting for us to come back home whole time and realize this is where we should be. This searching and finding is also a thrust of today's text, where the 12 years old boy Jesus is lost and found in the Jerusalem temple. So the story begins with Jesus' parents, Mary and Joseph, traveling to Jerusalem for the feast of Passover, that is, along with the festival of Booths and Pentecost, one of the 3 pilgrimage feasts that pious Jews wish to celebrate in Jerusalem. After the holidays are over, the families take off along with probably relatives and neighbors from the same village, and goes on a day's journey, not knowing that the boy Jesus is there or not there. Not there. It's like you visit your family in this Christmas season, getting the returning flight, and realize after 2 or 3 hours flight that your boy is there or not there. Not there. A friend of mine has 2 kids. One time his family stopped at the exit on the highway, drove 20 minutes, and later found what? They left their child there. Have you ever heard a story like this? There are other interesting parts in this story. On top of forgetting the boy. First is the theme of lost and found, which is prominent in Luke's gospel. When Jesus meets Zacchaeus, the tax collector, he says, "For the Son of Man came to seek out and to save the lost." After throwing a banquet for his prodigal son, the father says to the grumbling older son, "Your brother was dead and is alive. He was lost and is found." But here in today's story, it's not someone else but Jesus himself being lost and found. Right? Second, this story is similar to the story of Antitomb. As Dr. Luke Timothy Johnson points out, Jesus is found in Jerusalem after being lost how many days? 3 days. 3 days. Interesting, huh? 3 days. They are also seeking for somebody, and a question put to the seekers: why have you been seeking? The same Greek phrase, the sentence. Why have you been seeking? Sounds familiar? Just remember the story of the empty tomb. There is finally remembering of the woman, Mary, keeping all the words in her heart in today's story, just as the women at the tomb remembering his words. Third, Jesus' answer to Mary, "Did you not know that I must be in my Father's house?" demands a lot of questions. The problem is not that he was rude to his mom, which could be a possibility because he was at the verge of turning to what? He was 12, so he's at the verge of 22, or teenager, right? And anything goes with teenagers, like what? Right? What's the matter, Mom? But the real issue is how to translate a Greek phrase, entois to patros mu, that is literally in the things of my Father. So what things? Luke Johnson suggests 3 translation options. First, my Father's things, meaning affairs or business. Second, my Father's house. Third, my Father's associates, like relatives. And I don't want to go in detail of those translations, but the bottom line is, since things of my Father is singular or plural. Plural, right? Things of my Father. It can mean anything from the temple, there's a temple, to his listening and teaching in the temple. Affairs of my Father. And the bottom line for us is our Father's house is where we should be, and his affairs are what we should be doing. That's the bottom line. For Jesus, my Father's affairs are teaching the law to his people, which he was doing in the temple to the teachers of the law. And for us, our Father's affairs are, I believe, anything we do for the glory of God, not only inside the church, but also outside the church, where God placed us, each of us, where we should be in our place of this world as a parent, as a grandparent, as a husband or wife, as a son or a daughter, as an employee or employer, and as a congregation of this church. And since today is the last Sunday of 2018, I think it is appropriate to look back and count all the blessings that God has given us. For me, 2018 has been an exciting year, or put it somewhat bluntly, it's been a heck of a year. Right? I'm never going to forget 2018 because it's so special to me. It was full of ups and downs, tears and joy. 2018 started with writing a dissertation, full speed because I had no idea where I would be located in July. Writing was painful. Writing a page or two every day was just awful. It's hard. It's hard. Then I was anxiously waiting for my appointment and scared of being kicked out of the school housing because the school issued a notice of evacuation, if not eviction, by the end of May. And my family had to cancel our plan to visit Korea in June. Then I had an interview with Grace on Luke's first birthday, remember? Yes. And got appointed and found out that I could stay in my housing one more year. What a turnout. Then my first at Grace began. My first communion, first funeral, first baptism, and recently, first Christmas Eve service. In the meantime, I developed Grace's new website, submitted the final draft of my dissertation to my committee, and sent my family to Korea so that Luke can meet his grandparents and relatives for the first time. What an exciting year. We all have those moments, I think, ups and downs, moments of grief and moments of joy. As we conclude 2018, let us remember and count all the blessings God has given us, and most of all, thank Him for His faithfulness. Above all things, I'm grateful that I'm here where I should be in my Father's house and doing what I should do, doing my Father's affairs by serving you as a pastor. And I hope you take a time today and or tomorrow and count all the blessings God has given you this year and thank Him for placing you where you should be and allowing you to do what you should do. As I was looking at the people coming in and filling the sanctuary on Christmas Eve, I was thrilled and thankful because we had over 50 people, and among them there were many visitors from our neighbors, including our disciple members. Then it dawned on me that night, it's like, why they came? Why they came? Answer could be simple, it's Christmas. One of the two occasions in a year people make pilgrimage to church, right? Who brought them? Their families and friends. But what brought them here that night is something greater than those people. It is their own search for meaning, their realization that there is somebody that made this season special, and their urge to fill the void in themselves. That's why they came. So, what brought Mary and Joseph back to the temple? Jesus' absence. His absence brought them to his presence. Right? So, what brought those visitors to grace on Christmas Eve? Likewise, it's his absence. Because deep in their hearts, they knew they needed a Savior. They needed his presence. In that night, they somehow sensed this is where they should be, and it's saying to us all, this is where we should be and where we will be next year. Happy New Year.